Well, there's no masking this. Hi, Dean Jenkins from FollowMeTrades.com, and this is the weekly market update for the week coming up of June 29th, 2020. You know, I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek because if you need a conversation starter, if you want to have a stimulating conversation, just bring up the topic of whether a face mask should be worn or not, and you will have an interesting conversation. I guarantee it. And I'm not here to take a position on that. I'm here to analyze the market, but I thought that was an attention-getting opening line. But I say there's no masking this. The S&P 500, I'm showing the daily chart here, from we had this amazing run-up from March up until mid-June, and now we're seeing some weakness. I have been talking about this gap down, and now over the last week or two, we had this kind of channeling where it was just in a narrow range, and then it broke down out of that range. It has closed down below the 200-day moving average. And many of you know I use Vantage Point artificial intelligence software in my market analysis, and so I thought it would be appropriate to show what the forecast is. So if you don't know, Vantage Point uses intermarket correlation. So global markets, what are the correlations, and then if one market does this and there's a correlation, they expect this market to do that. They are predicting a down day on Monday at the open. This gray bar is the predicted high and low, and predicting very strong lows, and the predicted moving averages are down. So the prediction is to take out this low and to take out this low, and this is I'd say this was an important high. We're definitely down below that. If we take out the low of this price bar, what we're going to have is Dow theory with a low, lower high, new low, indicating a very clear trend change. So the overnight futures on the S&P 500 are down, implying so far a down open. They're down about 8 points. It gapped down, it's climbing back, but it is down, and the implication is that the market will be down. So what do we got coming up this week that could impact the market? It's worth reviewing. And, first and foremost, I think the biggest concern is about the spikes in coronavirus infections, hospitalizations, all of that. And, whether this is the second wave or the first wave's continuing, it doesn't really matter. Infection rates are going up, and it's got everybody worried a little bit. And here's HHS Secretary Azar warning the window's closing to halt the spike. And so it's got everybody concerned, rightly so. So coming up this week, this is a great newsletter from Seeking Alpha. If you sign up for it, Wall Street Breakfast, and they do every day what kind of what's going on that day, and then on the weekend, the week ahead. It's a big, huge block of text, hard to read, but Jeremy Powell and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin are going to be testifying during before Congress on June 30th. What's coming up? What's the overview of the economy? Their comments could definitely move the markets. We got some Fed heads, John Williams, Charles Evans, got some speeches. We got factory orders, trade balance, manufacturing, PMI. These are all important. And then they said, those are coming in before the June job report steals the show on July 2nd. And the economists are predicting a gain of 3 million jobs, take the unemployment rate from 12.2 to 13.3. If they look weak, the pressure could increase on the president, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and there'll be pressure on the market as well. So there's some things coming up. We are going to be during the holiday week. Got the 4th of July holiday coming up the end of next week. And typically the institutional traders are out of the market. Volumes are low. And retail traders are in control. Sometimes that can cause volatility. So I'm watching carefully. If we take out this low right here that I indicated, which is about 2950 on the S&P 500, from a technical standpoint, tune out all that other stuff, right? That's why I say there's no masking this. If we take that out, we're in a downtrend, and the midpoint for a retracement is down around 2708, and of course it could gain momentum and go challenge that March low, and I'm definitely biased that way, at least down, a retracement and maybe challenging the low. So that's what I'm looking for. And if this purple line, not a red line, but a purple line gets crossed, 2950 on the S&P 500, look out below. Here it comes. If we find some support, head up. A different story. Could channel for a while. So that's what to watch for. Those are the events coming up. And again, you can't mask the reality of price action. If we have this low, lower high, new low, it's a reversal. It's a trend change. And I will be trading that very actively. All right, take care. Hey, have a great 4th of July, because that'll happen before I do my next weekly update, if you celebrate, in the U.S. Meanwhile, trade safe, use risk control, keep the winners big, losers small. We'll catch you on the next update. Thanks.